Welcome students, programmers, and enthusiasts. This is Max with A1 Website Pro. Today we're going to be talking about PHP7 data types, and understanding these things will help you put things together in your head. There's 8 different data types. You need to know when they're used and how to use them, and they're all used a little bit different. So we're going to cover the first 4 types in this video lesson, and then later on we're going to cover the second 4 types later on today actually. And so let's go over some quick examples of the PHP7 data types and how they're used. But first of all, let's make sure that our XAMPP server is fired up. And as you can see, I got mine. It's on the green. I have it rocking and ready to go. If you need, if you're just starting, you don't know what this is all about, go back to lesson 1. If you click the link in the description below, you can get the files for this lesson and also get up to speed from our previous lessons so you can follow right along. We're going nice and slow, so making sure that you understand everything. And so we're taking this from an absolute beginner's point of view whenever they're coming to programming. The next thing that we're going to fire up is our Dreamweaver. And if you don't have Dreamweaver, make sure you go to the website and click the link to get it. Right now they're having a Black Friday sale, so you can click the link at A1 Website Pro and get a nice discount on your Dreamweaver application. And one of the cool things about this is I'm going to be giving you guys loads of snippets that you'll be using in your programming in the future. So you have them loaded up in your Dreamweaver. All you have to do is double click. And I'll give you an example of that right now. Let's go to our website, which is my website that we're working with. We want to fire up this do page, not because we're going to work in it, but we're just going to use it. We're going to take out everything in between here. Just keep the header and footer, go up to File and Save As, and we're going to save this as data types.php, just like so. And then we'll hit Save, and then we'll hit View. We'll close out the do page because we only want to work in the data types. Now, as far as the snippets go, if you go to the snippet, I could go in here and just double click this, and you notice it inserts my PHP tag. You figure, well, that's a big deal. But later on, whenever we get into object-oriented programming, you're going to really appreciate the fact that you can just do this, and it puts the code in there for you. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to do that. Grab the snippets that I'm giving you so it'll increase your efficiency in programming. So what about PHP integers? Well, an integer, very simply, is a whole number. It cannot be a decimal. It is not surrounded by quotes. So let's set a variable, var, set. Remember, the equal sign right there means set. It's not equal to. We're setting something. And then we'll set that to the number 3 and then put our terminator on. This is considered an integer. And let me go ahead and we'll echo it out first. We'll echo the var, hit Command S, and whenever I go to my XAMPP server, we'll go to the application and load up my website and then data types and hit enter. Now you notice we have the 3 right before the date there. Now in order to give us a little bit of separation between the date, let's go down here and just put in a line break, just like that. We'll hit Command S, go back to the Chrome browser, refresh, and now you can see the 3 there. Okay, so that's, how do we know that that's an integer? One of the things that you can do, instead of echoing out the var, we can go var underscore dump, just like so, and then put the variable inside there. And we'll hit put a terminator on the end, hit Command S, load up your Chrome browser once again, hit refresh. You'll notice here now it's an integer of 3. Okay, so just remember that. Integers are whole numbers. They do not have decimals, and they're not surrounded in single quotes or double quotes. They're just the number. All right, so maybe I'll leave this on here for you, and I'll type it integers, I-N-T-E-G-E-R-S, okay? Now the next one Oh, and if you wanted to save this as a snippet, what you would do is you would highlight this and come over here where it says PHP snippets, right click, new snippet, and we'll say PHP underscore integer, just like that. And then click OK. And now you'll notice we have PHP integer. So if I get, oh, no, I don't want to delete that. I want to delete this. So I could show you guys how to put it in. If I double click, boom, it's in there. All right. So that's our integer. I'm going to save that snippet right there. Now let's go on and then let's talk about floats. F-L-O-T-S, or we'll just say float. A float in PHP is a decimal. Okay, so it contains a decimal, 3.5. All right. And if we echo that out on the page, now notice floats too do not get encapsulated in any type of quote. Okay, no single quote, no double quote. And we'll echo that out. We'll hit Command S, go to our website, refresh it, and there you see we have 3.5. Okay, now let's go ahead and do our var dump trick. We'll go ahead and comment this out and come down to var dump and uncomment var dump. Hit Command S, and then we go to our Google Chrome, hit reload, refresh the page. Now notice it's letting us know that this is a float. Okay, and so whenever you're making calculations, for example, adding up things in a checkout, or where you're dealing with decimals, dollars and cents, you're going to need this type of thing. When you're dealing with anything having to do with decimals or fractions, you're going to have to use floats in PHP because that's the way it's done. All right. Okay, so let's give you that little snippet right there, shall we? Let's go floats, F-L-O-T-S. I was having a problem with Dreamweaver. I had to restart it. That's why it was a little bit different there. So let me go ahead and hit Command S, and I'm going to highlight this stuff, and we are going to create another snippet. So go to our snippets, PHP snippets, new snippet. We're going to call this float. Okay, and click OK. And now we have that float right there, so you guys will know what the float is. And also these snippets are going to be online at the website, so you could just grab them, enter them into your Dreamweaver, just like I did, and you'll have them. Okay, let's go on to the next one, which is strings. Now we've already been using strings in our lesson, haven't we? So let's go back to our Dreamweaver. Now a string, let's type in string. Make it all caps like the rest of them. Strings are made up of numbers, letters, and even code. So let's go ahead but they are always encapsulated in either single quotes or double quotes. Okay, so I just turned that 3.5 into a string. But let me just type in something like this is a string. And let me comment out that var dump and hit Command S. Excuse me. We'll go to our website, refresh. You notice this is a string. Now what happens when we put var dump in there? Well, when we put var dump in there, it's going to give us something a little bit interesting. So let's save that. Go back to our Chrome, refresh. Notice it says string 16. What does that mean? That means that this string has 16 characters in it. That also includes the spaces. Okay? So let's go ahead and make it a little bit longer, or let's just make it shorter. Just put the word the in there. Hit Command S, go back there, refresh. Now notice it just has 3 characters in it, the. Okay? So later on, whenever you're trying to do a word count or something, or a character count, you can use that for that. But I would use count, but we're going to get into that later. I don't want to jump ahead of myself. So we'll just highlight this right here. Go over to the PHP snippets. Click New Snippet. We'll call this Strings. Click OK. Now it's saved to our PHP snippet. Okay? Alrighty then. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, folks, moving right along here. Let's talk about booleans. Okay, so let's go ahead and double comment out that line, and we'll type in Boolean. Now, what is a Boolean? Let me give you an example of a Boolean. So we'll go in and type var, just like we've been doing, and we'll have it equal, whatever, okay? And now, to see if there's a value in this var, because sometimes if this is coming from a database, we don't get to see it. All we get is the variable that it's stored in. So now, we can echo var like that. But what we want to do is do the var dump here. Var dump. And then inside here, we want to type BOOL. And then inside that, we want BOOL in the parentheses on this side. So there's two parentheses like this that are opening up. And then close out that parenthesis and then put in your var just like that. And then the closing parenthesis. Okay, now I'll save that, and watch what happens in our browser here. Let's go ahead and refresh. Notice it says bool true. Okay, so Booleans give you two things, true or false. It's black or white. Okay, there's no in between, there's no variations. A Boolean is either true or false. Okay, now there's a couple little things I need to show you about this. So if we take this and we have no value in it at all, okay, so the var is now empty. If I go here and I refresh the page, you'll see that it indeed turns false. Now what about numbers or integers? Okay, let's go ahead and put in the number 1. Okay, so var is equal to an integer of 1. So let's save. Let's refresh it in our browser, and you can see that is true. What about a negative number, like -1 or 100? Well, let's go ahead in front of here and put the negative sign. So that is now a -1. If we hit Control S, what do you think it's going to do? Do you think it's going to read false? Well, let's refresh the page. Notice it says true. So as far as integers go, the only one that will read false is the numeral 0. Okay, so let's put in 0 there. Hit Command S, and then refresh the page once again, and you can see that is false. So, knowing that Boolean, if there's no value, it'll read false. If there's a value of 0, it'll read false. Everything, and then of course the default of Boolean is false. Everything else will read true. Okay, so whenever you're testing things out or whatever, you need to know if a variable is holding anything. You don't know what's in there. You need to find out if it's holding anything at all. You can use the Boolean. All right, so this is more for testing purposes. Okay, that pretty much wraps up the lesson for right now, and later on today I'm going to publish another one talking about the other 4 data types. We have arrays, we have objects, we have the null, and there was one more. Let me cheat a little bit here so I can look. And we have resource. That's right. So we're going to be talking about objects, arrays, null, and resource next. So I had to break these up because this next one gets to be a little bit more lengthier, so I can help you understand it a little bit better. This is Max with A1 Website Pro. If you're liking these lessons, please share them with your friends or other people that are interested in programming. Please subscribe to the channel and subscribe at the website so you get the next lesson coming out very soon. Okay, thanks. Bye.